Song that boy sung, and she said, me too. She said, but I couldn't help the whole time he sang it to think about you. I said, me too. Psalm 142, I'm going to be reading, actually Psalm 143, I'm going to start out. Verse 3, verse 4, for the enemy hath persecuted my soul. He hath smitten my life down to the ground. He hath made me to dwell in darkness, as those that have been long dead. Therefore is my spirit overwhelmed within me. My heart within me is desolate. I'm going to jump over to 142, the last verse. Bring my soul out of prison. That's all I'm going to be reading. Yes. Now we all know that the devil broke laws a long time ago, and he's done got the judgment cast on him, and he's got his death sentence. That's what he was given. But it was just told to us a while ago that you were an accomplice. So tonight, what I'm going to do is to try to be your attorney. Yes. That's what the Lord's laid on my heart. See, that the devil, he's murdered and he's lied and he's stole things. He's ran people down. He's broke God's laws. And the news has just came in that you've been an accomplice. Right. So we're going to try to help you get out of prison tonight, if y'all would pray for me. Yes, you see, David right here, he said, bring my soul out of prison. Right. Now, it's one thing for your flesh to be in prison, but it's another thing for your soul to be in prison. I worked out there at the regional jail, and I want to try to give you this a little bit, and I'll try to preach a little bit more, but I want you to understand what I'm saying. Now, while we was out there, there was classifications of minimum, medium, and maximum. And you all had different times of free time, but during most of the time you were in your cell. It didn't matter what classification you were. And you were there 24/7. You're there all the time. And if you ever got up to that maximum, you were in one cell all the time. Only time you got to come out was to eat. You'd come out in the morning, you'd come out at lunch, and you'd come out at dinner. And most of the time it was beans and taters and water. They'd sprinkle a little bit of powder in it to give it some flavor. And that's what you got daily. And if you're in prison tonight in your soul, it may be marijuana, it may be alcohol, but if you really think about it, it's just beans and taters every day. And you can't seem to get past that, and you're getting tired of it. Every single day it's the same thing. See, we've looked at your spreadsheet, and you've got charges. You've got lying and cheating and stealing, murdering. You've been an accomplice to the devil. And he's got the death sentence, and now the judge says that he wants to give you the death sentence too. So I'm going to try to help you out of it tonight the best I can. See, the attorney, when he gets the plea bargain, he tries to get the best plea that he can for the inmate. Whatever the best one is, that's the one he wants to take to drop the time. Well, there was a man about 2,000 years ago that came down. It was the Son of God. He came down and died for your sin upon a cross. And He made it that every sin that you've ever sinned, you could be forgiven for. Your spreadsheet could be wiped clean, and it would all be gone. Well, tonight I want to tell you, if you'll come to Him, everything you've ever committed, every sin you've ever sinned, it can be washed away tonight. It can be gone, done with. You can change out of the prison clothes and walk out a new man. Leave that old man at the jailhouse. You don't ever have to go back to him. He can die tonight, and you can become a new creature. All the old things are passed away, and all things become new. So it's getting time. It's getting time for you to go to court. You know all the charges are stacked against you. You've been a murderer, a cheater, a thief, and a liar. And you're trying to fight it. You're trying to say that I didn't do it. Or can I get out of it some way, somehow? And the judge told me the only way you can get out of it tonight is admit you're guilty. That's right. That's the only way that you can get out of it, is to say that I did it. You can't get out of it no other way. You've got to come and say that I'm guilty. I deserve whatever judgment that you'll cast on me. And this judge, he's not like an earthly judge. You can't persuade him with words of wisdom or money. His judgments are true and righteous. And whatever he judges tonight, it'll stand. And it'll be right. So I want you to think about all the charges laid against you tonight. I want you to think about, are you tired every single morning? When the doors pop open, going to that little hole in the wall and getting your beans and your taters. Are you getting hungry for something else? Do you sit and piddle on the walls at night wondering what they're doing outside the jailhouse? Well, court's coming up. Court is coming up, and you got to make a decision. Am I going to say I didn't do it and be in the hands of the judge, Or am I going to say I did do it and be in the hands of the judge? But either way, the judge is in control. So what are you going to plead tonight? Guilty or not guilty? I've been praying about this today, Lord. Help me to try to plead their case the best that I can. See, I can't save you. I can't get you out of trouble. But I can point you to somebody that can get you out of trouble. And they can save you. Because how do I know? I'll tell you how I know. Because about a year ago, I went to jail. Spiritually, like David, my soul was in prison. And every single night, I'd lay and look at the ceiling and see all the charges that were stacked against me. And it seemed like I had no way out. And I'd try to lie about it, and I'd try to get out in other ways. But until you come to the point to say I'm guilty and I did all of it, and I deserve whatever judgment you give me, you'll never get out of it. You'll be stuck there. But one night, I went down to the judge, and I said, all these charges that's on that spreadsheet, every single one of them, I did it. I lied. I stole. I murdered. Every charge you got on me, I did it. It wasn't nobody else. Nobody was helping me. I did it on my own. And the judge said, you're forgiven. And I got to walk out a new man. But it wasn't until I said that I did it. That's when everything changed. You got to admit that you did it. As I've already told you, the devil, he's already got a death sentence on him. He broke the judge's laws and he got the judgment cast on him and he's got a death sentence. And tonight he's trying to tell the judge that you were an accomplice. Now, I'm not saying that he's lying and you didn't do those things. I'm saying you helped him do those things. And what are we going to do? He's got the death sentence and the same charges are stacked against you. Now, he tried to lie and say he didn't. But what are you going to do tonight? Are you going to lie and you're going to go back out, and in the morning you're going to go back and get the beans and taters and go back and be locked down? Or are you going to come and you tell him that you did it all? And be at the mercy of the judge? His mercies, they endure forever. And they're tender. They're tender. He's a great, long-suffering God. But as I begin to think about this, being at the jailhouse, I thought about Paul and Silas when they went to jail. Everybody says that they sang praises and the jail doors sprung open. But I noticed before they sang praises, they prayed. Another man named Peter went to jail. They said the church of God prayed continually. And the prison doors opened up and his bands fell off. The only way you will ever get out of prison is to pray. I found it in the Bible. Every time men got out of prison, they had to pray. That's the only way out. That's the only way the chains will fall off, is to pray. Sarah, if you'll come up here and play that song, When He Said Live, I Had to Breathe.
Yeah. Bless you, Lord. That's good, Brandon. Praise the Lord. Amen.
He said, for the enemy hath persecuted my soul. He hath smitten my life down to the ground. He hath made me to dwell in darkness as though they had been long dead. Therefore is my spirit overwhelmed within me, my heart within me is desolate. And I remember that feeling of having an overwhelmed spirit and a heart that was desolate. You're miserable when you're like that.
That's right.
You're living just so you can die.
That's it.
That's all you got to look forward to, is to get out of what you're in. And the only thing that seems like can get you out is death.
Yes.
And then you'll start thinking thoughts about killing yourself. And I've seen men out there at that jail. They knew twice an hour that an officer was going to be coming by. And they knew if they timed it just right, that they could tie that sheet around their neck, wet the floor and put some soap on it, and jump off that bunk, and they'd have just enough time to stop breathing. Now when you get that low, you'll start thinking things like that so you can get out of this.
That's right.
But if you really want out of it tonight, I urge you. I urge you to come and confess with your mouth what you've done. And believe that Jesus, His blood and His righteousness can cover every sin that you've committed. Sarah, if you want to go ahead and start playing. 3 meals a day, every day, 7 days a week. And they were always the same. Every morning I got up, marijuana, alcohol, and pills. Lunchtime, Marijuana, alcohol, and pills. Dinner time, marijuana, alcohol, and pills. Bedtime, marijuana, alcohol, and pills. After a few months, I said, Lord, I'm sick and tired of that. I'd like to have something else to eat. One day he said, if you'd come eat of my flesh and drink of my blood, you shall never die. I woke up one morning and I didn't have to get no beans and taters. If you'll come pray tonight, see, I believe when they pop the doors in the morning and you don't come out and the officer goes to get you, the warden says, go in and get him, and the warden's the devil. When he says, go in and get him, I believe the officer will come back and say, truly, I found the prison locked and secure. All the doors were shut, but I found no man within. Yeah. All you got to do is come. If everybody would bow their head for just a minute. I got so sick of beans and taters. It seemed like every time I opened the cabinet, that's all I had to eat. I was trying to run from those charges that was laid against me. Then one day, I finally came to the judge and said I did it. See, I said I was being your attorney tonight, and I just talked to the judge. And here's the plea offer: a death sentence or an everlasting life sentence. You got a small gap to come before the hammer gets thrown down and the verdict is final. Go ahead and sing for me, Sarah.
When I was wounded,
If you don't want this man, then you can go out the door tonight, and when you wake up in the morning and the door's popped, you can go back up to that hole in the wall and get some more beans and taters and go back to your cell and sit there and eat them and think, Lord, I'd like to get out of here. I'd like to have something else to eat. Jesus can take everything you've ever done and cast it as far as the east is from the west. Every drug I ever took, every lie I ever told, every man I ever murdered, it's all behind me. Would you come tonight? I know there's some men in here that's been in prison. You've got some free time and you've got out for a little while. But when you wake up in the morning, you'll be back in the prison cell. The devil came to kill, steal, and destroy. If you want life tonight, if you want forgiveness, if you want a clean slate, if you want something else to eat, would you come tonight?
But the Lord's passing by.
I may not be the best attorney, but the judge I'm talking about, he's the best one I've ever met. Does anybody want to come and tell the judge I did it? He's full of mercy and compassion. I'd hate to see you walk out of here, have to go back to your jail cell, sleep on that one-man bunk by yourself, just come out to eat. That food they're serving you is killing you. You hear what I said? That food that you're eating every day, it's killing you. He said, I came to give you life, give it to you more abundantly. See, and if you'll come, when the warden finds out you're not there and he sends the officers after you, and they get to you, and you're with the Lord, and the officers will come back and say it was with Jesus. I couldn't do nothing. The Lord started talking. You walk out tonight, you chose the death sentence. He gave you a choice.
Now in his mind, in the preacher's mind tonight, I don't know what he's thinking. But Brother Johnny, there ain't never been a more fitting message that's been preached than what's been preached tonight. You be well assured he's prayed and no doubt fasted and sought God. God give him that message tonight. And I promise you tonight, it won't fall to the ground. Somebody tonight needs to take heed. Somebody tonight needs to hear the voice. As this young lady said, I heard the voice. You heard it through his man tonight. While his man was preaching, he was speaking to you. He was talking to you. But I found out Israel, in the days of Moses faced some of the same problems. He looked at Israel one day and said, why will you die? Why won't you live? Why won't you live tonight? You're bound by this? You know what? Let me tell you what the devil's telling you.